Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for your presence and big warm welcome to everybody to our session, AJM's first session called the Creative Dialogues and Discovery with Macanese. I would also like to thank Rui Cunha Foundation for providing us with such a great venue and the logistic support for us to have this event. This is the first of, we hope, many that will be coming. And we're here to talk about the future rather than the past. And for our first session, we are very honored to have Fernando Lourenço and Giulio Acconci here with us today on our first session. Fernando Lourenço, I will give you a brief introduction before you introduce yourself to our guest. Born and raised in Macau, he obtained his bachelor, master, as well as doctorate degree in the UK, and is currently a visiting assistant professor at the Macau Institute of Tourism Studies. So I'll pass to you to give everybody a self-introduction.
I don't know what to say. It will take me like 2 hours because I love talking. That's why I'm an academic.
Macanese.
Yeah. So maybe give you a little kind of a background understanding about the type of Macanese I am, because I think Macanese is multi-dimensional. So I'm the type that I was born here, but I spent 17 years in the UK. So I have some English kind of a culture and element in me. I got Chinese and I got Portuguese. And I'm the type that didn't study well and do well in school. So I always get or dois, in my Portuguese, I always fail. That's why I left. But I can still speak Portuguese, but not like that great. And then, I was very naughty. I changed myself and then I became, a good person, not that naughty. And then I pursue a career in academia. So now my aim is really about kind of educating people, developing the future generation, try to create a better world. This is something I think I'm doing. So I try my best. So that's all about me. Yeah.
Thank you, Fernando.
We're in good hands.
We also have today with us Giulio Acconci. I'm sure we don't need much introduction for Giulio, but I will also mention a few words about him. He's also born and raised in Macau, a musician, an artist, and member of the very well-known band Solar. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, very happy to be here today. I grew up amongst the Macanese, being initially thinking, am I Macanese? That's a good question you ask yourself. And then along the way, I just decided I was, because I am part of this group of people that you can't really define, and that is also what I think makes being Macanese great. And so in my career, I've always worn it proudly to be Macanese, to be from Macau, and I've tried my best to break out of norms, to break out of what people think I am. And so today, I think I'm going to touch a little bit on that. It's not just about being one thing, but I think you can always change. And part of what we're going to talk today is about that. What change can we bring to this whole idea of what it means to be Macanese today in this day and age? Because I don't want to go too much in length about myself as a musician or artist. That's for another occasion. So I'll say that much. And on that theme, they asked if I could sing a song today. I'm very happy to sing a song. So I chose a song.
He's not saying no, obviously.
Yeah. I've chosen a song called Tidal Wave. It doesn't sound like a good title. It sounds scary, Tidal Wave. But actually, it's about a person. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can choose to be a force of nature if you want to be. And so today, really, I want to bring on change. And so with that, I'll start the song. It's called Tidal Wave. If you want to join in, if some parts you feel you can join in, feel free. If not, it's okay just to listen. Steady and unfazed, I feel it in my bones, a storm is on its way. As I contemplate, I go deep inside and alter my state of mind. Riding on the back of a dragonfly, slicing through space and time. Oh, I am indeed of the rainbows and all the streams and rivers that merge into sea. I raise up my head and anchor my feet. Salt stains on my hundreds of horses rise up from the sea, rolling and crashing onto the beach. I've got to ride this wave. Oh, I am an eagle, looking on from high above. I am the colors of the rainbows. I'm all the streams and rivers that merge into sea. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I am a tidal wave. Oh, I am an eagle, looking on from high above. Oh, I am the colors of the rainbows. I'm all the streams and rivers that merge into sea. I am an ocean, yeah, with all its mysteries. I am a rock, I am the mountain. I can be anything I wish to be. Ooh, 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 ooh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. No, 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 no. Ooh, 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 ooh. Woo!
Thank you very much, Giulio. Thank you for the wonderful performance. Before we start, I would like to tell our guests the tone of today's session. We want to have a very relaxed tone to our session just to discuss the future. Nothing, very little about the past, hopefully. We want to discuss the future, and being a relaxed session that it is, we have prepared drinks and water and other refreshments at that corner, so please help yourself if you need a refreshment. Okay, so back to business. Our event today is about brainstorming and sharing of ideas. We're not trying to come to any conclusions about anything, because there will never be a conclusion or an answer to any questions that we're raising today, but rather we want to talk about ideas and brainstorm ideas. And also we want not so much about Macanese identity, but rather what the Macanese community can do for the development and the future of Macau. So we would like to emphasize on that. So I'll start with the first question I have for us to discuss. This year we'll be celebrating the 25 years since the handover. And over the past 2.5 decades, Macau has been bestowed with numerous slogans and titles, such as we're part of the Pearl River Delta Cooperation and Development Plan. We have been part of the Guangdong 9+2 Plan, the Hengqin Macau In-Depth Cooperation Zone, and we are the One Center, One Platform, One Base. And then more recently, it's announced that Macau will be the city of performance and city of sports. So we've experienced very rapid development over the years. Do you think there has been more space for progress of what we've done, or was there anything more that we could have done? And how has the Macanese contributed or benefited from these plans? Any ideas?
I think all these terms are useful because it's part of strategic planning, because you have to set a direction, create a concept, so then you can use it to lead people so they can see where we are going, to create a kind of a common vision. So I think all these terms will change, will continue to change and evolve and be created. So whether there's room, of course there will be room because the city or a country never stop evolving, isn't it? So, but it really depends what you know, the central government or the CT decide to do. So for now, you know, all these kind of concepts is created for them to meet certain goals and directions. So so whether they are good or bad, I think they're all great. It's very useful because without those stuff, we'll be lost. We don't know where we are going. So I think the government is doing a good job. At least it's inspiring the people where they are going. You know, because every concept they create gives people a vision. You know, they can imagine where the city is going. So they will become part of the whole to contribute to a common vision. So so yeah, that's my view on those concepts and terms. Yeah.
What about the Macanese contribution or benefit? How have we benefited as a community?
To be honest, I think very little. Not because nothing has been done or no effort has been made. It's more about the individuals who are not taking the chances or not taking advantage of the opportunities. And that may be many personal reasons, but I don't think it's because of lack of structure or lack of ideas or incentives. It's maybe just some people don't see themselves that they can be protagonists. So it's something that I think needs to be done more on the ground kind of root level, right, grassroots level, is to show them that you can be something more than what you think you can be. Macau really has come a long way. I think we are really an amazing platform. We have the eyes of the, for now I feel that, we have the eyes of the whole of China. When they come here, they're looking at us. And so if you don't take this chance, I mean, it's not going to come again. It's not always that you get this opportunity where people are so excited. There's a certain excitement now. I think it's about grasping the opportunity. So I would like to see more of that, but that's more on an individual level of the young people or anybody, entrepreneurs. I speak for the artists. I think they have to be a little bit more aggressive is the wrong word.
I was going to say aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, but that's the wrong word. Just proactive, you know, throw yourself out there. A little example. I'm now part of, I'm participating in busking in the streets. Normally the people would think, oh, Giulio, you know, you've been on the stage, you're in front of the camera, you do movies and whatnot, and what you're doing on the street busking. Well, that's me. That's what I'm willing to do because there's an opportunity. So I don't measure something as something better or less. If that's an opportunity where I can learn, where I can grow, I'm going for it. So I do it personally. I'm the first to set an example. No matter where you are, what status you are in society, in life, I think it's always good to try new things. So that's my way of approaching it.
And I kind of agree with him. I think all those kind of concepts and themes gives people a direction, but like everybody is a fair place. It's like this table. Everybody gets all those resources. They get to see the same stuff. It's up to the people who play with the stuff and create something for themselves. But if you ask me for now whether the Macanese community has been exploiting those opportunities or whether they have created something where they can ride along those themes, I don't think there is a lot of big stuff they have created. So so I think that it's not a bad thing. This tells us that there is a lot of room for us to use perhaps the heritage, the culture, use those elements to create cultural and commercial activities. So there are a lot of opportunities. So of course, you know, the Patois show, you know, is one of the great examples. But what more do we see? You know, to be honest, you know, apart from Minchi, it's a very small part of the culinary arts, isn't it? So apart from that, you know, like what do you see?
Yeah, I've played with this idea a long time, and I'm waiting to see even just a TV series. It can be an internationally produced type of TV series or even a movie where the actors act and speak in their accent or tone. That's one very endearing thing, part of the being part of the Macanese culture, is that because of all the mixed languages, we don't speak English like we don't sound English. we don't sound Chinese. We don't sound Portuguese. We sound like whatever
we sound
that.
Macanese.
We sound Macanese. And so I've always imagined a series just doing that. Then we watch foreign movies with subtitles. So if the people don't understand what we're saying, yeah, then let's just put some subtitles there. But that's what I'm saying is that be proud of what we are. There is something there. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. There's so much. We have all these resources, and it's a real pity if we don't take advantage.
You mentioned Minchi and Patois. It seems that in Macau, in China, or even the world is very concentrated on just culinary or gastronomy of Macanese gastronomy and the Patois as our culture. But there's more than that, right? Is there more we can do to promote this culture and as a way to integrate ourselves into Macau and Greater China? Or what can we do?
I think there are processes if we really want to turn this into something. I think that there is a choice as well. So we can decide, are we creating something about culture? If it is about culture, I think this should be fully funded by the government. Yeah, because culture is to create a community, is to preserve the heritage. All this should be government related. And then maybe we can also decide, is it commercial or both? Then this is more related to business. But if it is about business, then we should approach it more like business. So for now, I don't think I've seen any kind of a business that really exploit the heritage or culture of the Macanese kind of a community. So if they really want to do it, I can like give you an example what can be done. So they really have to set it like a project, like robbing a bank. You don't just go to a bank, give me money.
Edit that out. Edit that out.
Okay, yeah, maybe cut it out. Yeah, because you have to plan everything, isn't it? You got to plan the route, what time you got to go, la 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 la. So let's say, for example, if I want to exploit a business by using the let's say Macanese heritage, then maybe I would have to spend time or create a team. So where at the beginning where people have to research. For example, maybe understanding first of all, what are the elements that makes Macanese culture or heritage? They have to identify everything. Yeah. So there are a lot of stuff for them to find. So as an analogy, this would be like you find a lot of Lego pieces. Because if you don't know what sort of pieces you have, then what can you create? You don't know. You just got to find them all out. So it requires a lot of research. Yeah, people in Macau or people outside of Macau, because we are like everywhere, isn't it? We have people in many kind of continents. And after that, after you know what you can use, then if it is a commercial kind of a project, then maybe look at the market. Yeah, so surely this is not for the locals. If it is business, it's for tourists. Macau is for tourists, isn't it? So then we have to understand what tourists want, what are their desire, what are their problems, what are their needs. Yeah, so like, I'm not going to read this as an example because I'm an academic. There are a lot of research that looks into, Chinese tourists, why they come to Macau, how they spend money, what they like, so it highlighted quite a lot of stuff. So like, as part of the project, they really have to understand, these people, because we are trying to convince them to give them, their money. So then they can kind of sustain, all these kind of Macanese type businesses. And then, after that, after we know, what they like, then another part would be understanding the industry. For example, what sort of businesses is in Macau, who are the competitors, how they do it, what are their business model. And after all those stuff, the elements that relates to the Macanese culture, then, maybe a number of entrepreneurs or design teams or marketeers, then they'll be playing with all those elements to develop business opportunities or develop services, develop products. Yeah. So in that process, maybe they would pilot test it, and then they will start up and run it. But during that time, they still have to spend money and time to market it. Yeah, to make sure people know the business, the value. So I think if they want to do it properly and serious, they really have to take that as a real project instead of just thinking, okay, well, what should we do? Maybe like Minchi, or maybe make a T-shirt and say Chupa Ovo. I'm joking. Yeah? Because those are the basic stuff. Yeah, but there's actually a lot more we can do. I don't want to reveal too much because I don't want to give too much. If you Ask me, then of course I can follow the process to find proper business ideas. But just to give you an example, maybe to stimulate your creativity. Maybe like you said, one of the most famous aspect of our culinary is minchi. Yeah. Now we just use minchi as minchi, but you can peel the onion. Minchi can be turned into so many other stuff. Think about it. Use your creativity. But what do we develop? What we develop should be based on the market needs, isn't it? Maybe if tourists want experience, maybe minchi plus experience. If tourists want entertainment, maybe minchi plus entertainment and plus whatever. So we have to develop based on what they want, what they need, what they desire. Use some creativity. Not just minchi. We can do something else. I got a lot of stuff about minchi, but I'm not going to say it.
You got to pay to buy his ideas.
But I mean, as we are sharing, as I am, I always like, I'm an altruist. Yeah, I like to give. Yeah, I don't take. Yeah. So I think when we think about maybe am I using too much time?
No.
Go ahead.
I love listening to you.
I can talk for hours. So let's say we're not looking at commercial stuff. Maybe we look at cultural. So maybe something that should be funded by the government. Now I've done some got some information. Have a little yes. I just did a little look at mixed race people. Not every kind of mixed race becomes something like Macanese. If you look at Hong Kong, they don't have Hong Kongese like Macanese we have in here. But we are not the only. There is a few. For example, there is the Métis, the European, mixed indigenous, people in Canada. Yeah, and then there is the Mestizo, in Latin America, colored in South Africa, Pardo, yeah, in Brazil. Is it Pardo? Yeah, Pardo, yeah. In Brazil. Yeah, Eurasia would be like us, Macanese, Anglo-Indians, Mestizos in Philippines. There are the burglars in Sri Lanka. So there is a lot of type of people like us, but not us. So it really depends on how they were mixed together. So via maybe during the colonization or the our history. So now for example, there is like a lot of when we look at all these kind of mixed people, I found a pattern. So there are many areas we can exploit and we can show people. For example, artisans, cultural experience, literature, culinary, very typical, fashion, visual arts, theater and performance. Yeah, you got it right there, you're right there. Dance, music and entertainment, tourism tours, experience, markets, festivals, sites and museums, cultural consultancy, language, martial arts. Where? Brazil.
I thought you would ask me to kick you.
No, not you. Martial arts, Brazil, capoeira. Yeah, religion, also very famous in Brazil. All those spiritual stuff, and education. So now, when we put all this stuff together, now let me give you my idea. And all these different kinds of mixed people, but they're not just mixed people like the ones in Hong Kong. They're mixed people with identity. Yeah. So I'm very grateful that some people in Macau, they try to capture all that culture, try to preserve it. People back there, the Macanese, the leaders. So very important. So now what I'm thinking is, how about we make a very unique museum in Macau, but not only about Macanese. We put all those different kind of mixed cultures in this museum. So it's a museum of the kind of the multicultural. So like each area will show, maybe the Métis and the Mestizo, the colored and the Macanese. So when people come to Macau, they will visit something very unique, only exists in Macau. So in a way, we're not just showing us, we're showing them, to people that we are very special, like all those guys as well. So in a way, it gives people another reason to come to Macau. Yeah, because if we only show Macanese, it's not that special. But if we show every kind of mixed culture, then I think this is something we can think about. But I'm not saying this is a perfect idea. I'm just giving you an example. Yeah, it requires time. I got this idea only during this afternoon. So if I spend maybe like 10 minutes to come up with an idea, if we work properly to develop commercially viable ideas, I think it's very feasible. Yeah. So I don't think it's impossible. I think it requires time and requires, of course, support, investment and funding, but it's not charity, remember.
Yeah.
Money can be made, yeah, if done properly. So, yeah, that's my share. Too much?
You actually took over
I'd
my
like
next
to-
question. A bit of additional information because it's a sharing session. So if any one of you have any questions or you want to share with us, just raise your hand and we'll give you a mic there. Okay? So we don't really have a very fixed Q&A session. So if anyone has an idea, just let us know and we'll give you the mic. You actually took over my next question, you know? Like you just answered all the questions that I have.
And he touched all my talking points. So, yeah.
No, but then back to Minchi and Patois. It seems like many people are just talking about Minchi and Patois as an intangible heritage of the Macanese community. But in fact, we have more than that. There's procession of Our Lady Fatima. There's Arraial de São João, which unfortunately has been suspended due to various reasons for the past few years. We have Portuguese folk dance and making of Pastéis de Nata, Alua. This can all make money, in fact, actually. Maybe not the procession, but at least Alua and Pastéis de Nata can make money. What else can we use to singing? Is that a way to help Macau and promote?
You can, but I'd like to touch a little bit on, because what you said, I really like the part about creativity. And it's also innovation, because it's something you already exists. The creativity, when you use it to modify, then it becomes innovation. Creativity can be from zero. If the mind is of a Macanese and he created something, that is a Macanese creation. So I'm one to really jump out of that idea of what Macanese is. We need to do that too. I think the traditional way of seeing it is very good and with some innovation, but also just by the very act of creating something, that by a person whose mindset is very different. You can't say that, I don't know how to describe you, that's the mind of a creative person, a Macanese person. So whatever he does, I would consider this as a Macanese creation. And so by that, I just want to clarify there that I don't particularly think that we have to do something specifically in a language or using Minchi, right? So where are the new dishes? Minchi, we just keep talking about Minchi, but I think we get the meaning. These traditional things have always been there, but somebody came up with it. So before that happened, what was it, right? So I think we should be looking for the new Minchi, the new thing, that new idea to bring Macau forward, to bring the Macanese culture forward, to bring it to present day. If you talk about music, I don't think necessarily we have to sing in patois. We have that maintaining of culture, but on the other hand, I think just Macanese, I think a very good example nowadays, for me, just to see Germano, I think we all know Germano, seeing him on TV, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, right? He's there, he's representing us, and I'm so proud of him. And I'm proud that he's doing such a thing. And so by that, I mean, just do something. It's just in that act of making something. And then, like he said, it has, always keep in mind something commercial. So there's not always, I want to do this, I think. He did research, right? That's very important. Know what we're dealing with. Know what targets we have. Are we targeting the Chinese market? I think everybody wants to target China. But I think the whole world is so big, why don't we target other countries? There's so much more we can do. And since other people have pretty much, I think the local businesses that already existing, I mean, we have now ngao zap, right? We have ngao zap, the offal, beef offal in the streets. We never had that before. But somebody thought, hey, they like it, we'll do it. Right, that's a commercial idea. And just because we're doing it in Macau, they're calling it Omun ngao zap, Macau beef offal. So I'm just thinking, we can, just the act of doing something, do our research, and but then he's mentioned something, I think we all, when he said it, we thought, oh, if only, right, investment. So we need to also learn how to rally supporters. We need people to help us. I'm very big fan of getting funds from the government, of course, why not? It's there, it's sitting there. But what happens when you don't get it? What happens when it's very hard to make that first step? I think we need, also on a personal level, there's some people who can perhaps just help you, and that's in our technique and the way we're able to communicate our ideas. So we really have to learn to sell our ideas. Learn from him. I mean, he's a great salesman.
He has too many ideas.
Yeah. No, I bought a few of his ideas already. I participated in a movie because he pitched it to me, and I couldn't refuse because he painted it so well.
I'm a painter.
You're a painter. So, and that's what I mean. It's just, I think we can be also a bit more relaxed about it. I don't think we have to do it now. But starting from today, I think this is a great thing that we're talking about at least. I think we're also speaking about things that we all in the room here have thought about, personally felt, maybe not really voiced out in a public forum like this, but it's a good start. If we're willing to acknowledge what we've not done in the past, then I think it's a way to move forward. At least we know, okay, we can do better, or there's so much we can do. And as I was saying, we can do anything. By all means, go to the roots. That's great. But I don't think we can start with new stuff. When you're selling mean cheese, and I've come up with this new dish, and call it whatever. And that's already a new Macanese, a nouveau Macanese. Okay.
There are people that want to grasp the traditional side of being Macanese, or the traditions of Macanese. What's your view on holding on to the traditions but making it something new? Like, when it's something new, is it still Macanese? That's something that's on a lot of debate.
Raphael came after Michelangelo. When Michelangelo was painting, he was the senior. And then, man, he represented the Renaissance period. And then Raphael came, and everybody thought, what's a rock star? And he did something new, and he painted with different techniques. So I'm saying, I don't think like I said, we have to really, culture is so important. It comes from the past. Without the past, you have nothing. So I'm saying that new idea is not just out of the sky. It is out of what you already have. But it can be quite abstract. I paint in abstract. And sometimes when I paint in abstract, I have an idea in my mind, but then when I start painting, it turns into something else. So if I say that this inspiration comes from X, and even if I told you that an inspiration is X, you won't see it. But as long as I know that it came from the root. So I think as long as we know our culture, we love our own cuisine, we love our own ideas and language, I think from that we can easily move into new territories. Yeah. So I just think let's not confine ourselves. Yeah.
Microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I listen. My English not so good, so I'm going to try my best. I've listened carefully about what you are saying. But after working so many times for the government of Macau, especially for the foreign between China and Portuguese-speaking country, and I've during the 12 years tried my best to promote the importance of the Macanese in Macau, because we have our culture to link with the Portuguese-speaking country. I think your new generation needs to start to think the concrete business, not thinking always the past, our culture. We need to look for the future, because the fact that we are existing here, that means that we are Macanese. So grab the opportunity of the business given by the central government of China to Macau, how to link the Portuguese-speaking country. And the most important is the Macanese need to start to learn Mandarin, because without knowing Mandarin, the business not be successful. There are a lot of opportunities. I know that the Chinese needs a lot of products and also investment to the Portuguese-speaking country. But I don't see that there are a lot of new generations of the Macanese, how can I say, working with this direction. Sorry, you are doing a very good job, but we don't think our past. We need to look for our future. Yep. The future can be the very important history for our new generation Macanese. We are all here. We are very old. Sorry, we are not old. We are old, but we need you. We need you to be our future. We need you to be the present for my grandson, our grandson in the future. So please do the concrete things. You are right. Both of you are right. Not thinking of our past. We need to grab the opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities in China, and or not only in China for all the other. Use the Chinese product to another countries. Yeah. Using Macau as a platform. Macau is a platform because of our existence, because we know the two cultures. This is very important. This is what I would like to transmit to you, new generation, to do this work. I'm doing, but I'm old. I'm trying to take some new generation with me. But you need to do that, especially you also. Okay? Thank you.
He's doing a lot.
Yeah, thank you. But do business. Not only culture, business, that's very important. Culture related with the business. This is our survival.
Absolutely.
Okay? So my English is not so good, sorry. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Rita.
Yeah, I think it's up to the individual. By being Macanese and having Macanese culture, I think it's beneficial because we have all these elements we can use. Like I said, creating something is like, you have a lot of Lego pieces. Just, having this Macanese culture, all this heritage gives us, some extra Lego pieces where other places don't have and can't use. But this is not only for Macanese to use. Even let's say, someone from Kaiping or Zemari, they can, let's say, if they see opportunity, let's say I'm someone from Kaiping, in China. And then if I see, okay, there's opportunity to use these Macanese element, then I can combine it with some other elements and create something, commercially viable. So, but that's the thing about Macau. We have those, unique resources we can use. And another thing about culture, something he mentioned about, I think it's always like, 揸住同放手, like how they say that, like 揸住同放手.
Grasp and let go.
Yeah, grab and let go. It's like I know I'm a multicultural. Yeah, and multiculturalism, someone multicultural never stop. The culture never stop evolving. Yeah, if we stop the culture from evolving, we don't see what we have right now. Let's say if this is the 15th century, 16th, 17th, 18th, it has been always changing. But if you let go, we will not be able to preserve anything, right?
No roots.
But if we kind of let it go like this, then we allow new elements to come in and allow the culture to evolve. So it's all about this balance, of 揸同放. Yeah. So at the same time, for entrepreneurs or for the creatives, what they can use would be, stuff that they kind of hold, the old culture, but at the same time, they need to read about the constantly changing kind of a society and business environment to integrate elements that are very now, elements that people want, elements that are excited, elements that have market. Yeah. So at the same time, use the unique elements that is within the Macanese culture, so they make something interesting. Yeah. So, but we have to remember, even though yes, we want people to learn about our culture. It's about education, but if just about learning is boring. There's no tourists come to Macau wants to learn. What is Macanese? They don't. They want to play. Why do you travel most of the time? You want to chill. You want to have fun, isn't it? So when we come up with ideas that connects with our Macanese culture, if we want it to be commercially viable, sustainable, economically sustainable, then we have to make sure we give them something they want. Yeah. So like things like for example, like when we look at maybe
him and his papers.
Maybe we look at Minchi. When we look at Minchi. So this is a study I'm doing with my student. He looked at I think 150 something studies. He found around 1,000 something kind of a motivating factors that affects people's food tourism motivation. And then one of the key stuff he finds in terms of food tourism is that like the top one is when people come to Macau or other cities, they really want enjoyment when they eat. Yeah, and then the second one is socialization, so then they can hang out with people, and then cultural exploration. Yeah, and then variety and novelty, escapism, and then status, so they can show people, I ate minchi, you haven't. Yeah, so they feel better. Value and then health concern. So I think, if we want to be practical, we need to combine with all these elements when we design stuff. Yeah, we can't push something in. We have to pull people into the concept we create attract them instead of forcing them to something. You know, you can't force people to eat raw meat. You have to make it look nice, you know. That's why, you know, the sugar babe do this, yeah? To make people think it's attractive.
Salt bae.
Salt bae is not sugar babe. Salt bae.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. But you get my point, yeah? You get my point.
He thinks he's sugar babe.
So this is like, you know, there's theory behind it as well. It's like the Schumpeterism. It's like, you know, it's a guy who argues that everything are elements. So entrepreneurs, especially the successful ones, are the ones that successfully put existing resources in innovative way. So you don't have to invent anything new. Yeah. Everything is about using existing stuff, in an innovative way, and everybody sees resources in different ways too. Yeah, maybe this is like reality. We all see this, but we see it differently, and we use them differently too. So this is up to the individual. Could be Macanese, could be non-Macanese. So there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I think to add to this, by exercising your creativity and ideas, we can be the bridge, truly the bridge for other countries. So not just think of us in Macau, what products we can make. Perhaps in Brazil, a Brazilian company that designs a certain product, anything, I'm not going to even mention anything, just a product, and they want to enter the China market. They say, hey, call us. You want to brainstorm? We can help you because we know what they're thinking, right? They will have all their researchers, you know, they go online and they call up these expensive consultancy companies that give them data. Oh, this is what they like. But nobody will know better than who is ground level here, who knows what they think. We go to China all the time. We know exactly what they like. We see the shops, we eat the food. So we can really be, in the business world, the go-between. You mentioned, are we just translators? You know, once you ask the question, you know, Macanese seem to be translators. But I'm saying, no, we are the translators, but translators of culture, not of language. We can translate for people. I'm working on a project lately, and I found that I needed to translate the culture because one side was saying, oh, we can't do this. This side said, but we want to do this. I had to explain to this side, no, but you have to understand on their perspective, it's amazing. On this side, I said, you got to go easy because they're not comfortable. And so what was that? I wasn't translating language. I was translating culture. So I think that's also very another way to see that we don't have to be position ourselves as a company in Macau working for the world. We can insert ourselves in different countries, propose ourselves. Do you want to get in the China market? We can help you with the brainstorming. A guy like him is absolutely invaluable, right? The vision that he can give and the experience, most importantly, the experience. Now I just want to mention something I didn't mention earlier about, I talked about TV series. You touched just now, in all the cultures, there are all the different mixed cultures, right? In the Philippines, if you go to the Philippines, the people thought I was a Filipino actor because I look like those mixed guys there, right? They're on TV. They are the main actors on TV. The mestizos. They're called mestizos. Yeah. And then if you go to Thailand, they're the ones in the movies. If you go to Vietnam, they're the ones, they're the models, and they kind of can go across the board. Sometimes you see advertisements here in Macau, and you see somebody that you're not too sure what they look like. They could have been a mix from Vietnam or mixed from Philippines, and the model agencies, they get them because they can just blend in anywhere.
They're handsome.
Yeah, and so I think even there we're not taking advantage of our looks even. The looks can be, and I don't even mean you have to be handsome or good or beautiful and all that. If you look a certain way, we can be in the front to show people. Because I recently finished shooting a TV series with TDM, and I play a chef. Talk about food, right? I cooked minchi. And
what else?
Yeah, spot on.
What else?
So I cooked minchi, and my face, I'm speaking Cantonese, and the person I'm acting with, the protagonist, the female protagonist, she comes from Portugal. She's a local. She's Portuguese mixed American. She's a Caucasian woman, and yet she speaks Cantonese. And in the series, we're acting in Cantonese. And I think that already, for me, it's exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm doing what I said I'm proposing, that we don't have to act in our language. We can act in the language that the people listening to.
We can be spies. Like,
Wow.
people would not expect you to speak Chinese, like if you're outside.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done
Right?
that.
And then they would not expect someone that looked like us speaking Portuguese. So I think
Yeah.
we can. The Macanese should be spies.
Absolutely, we can do that. Why not? Agree, yeah.
Luis.
I'm very glad that I was able to join in this really interesting forum. Before I go any further, I think that what Rui Cunha did in the Rui Cunha Foundation is something extraordinary. I saw the birth of Rui Cunha Foundation, and I think this forum here helped us be here. So I think that I've never said it before. I've been here many times, but I think Rui Cunha and the son have done something out of the normal, and that deserves a real applause. I'm going to go a bit further, because I think this forum here is excellent. We have a bit older brother. I have met him back in 1969 when he was a lieutenant.
We were definitely not.
When he was a lieutenant in the Portuguese army patrolling our street.
Army.
Whoa. He was a lieutenant. I'm talking about Neto Valente as a tenente miliciano. He's a Macanese. And we have here Madeiros, whose father was also Portuguese. And we have a lot of really interesting people here tonight. And I think before I give credit to the panel here, I think it's important to give credit to the people who are here present. I counted no more than 36 people. And such an important forum like Rufino Ramos here, Coutinho here, and also many important people here, to listen to 3 people here. Acconci, who I know his background fully. Is he a Macanese? Maybe not. Is he not a Macanese? Maybe yes.
We're not here to define identity today.
I know his father. I met his father.
Father.
And I know Paula and Rosario
Lourenço.
and Annabella Ricci. So how difficult it is to have a group of Macanese from various backgrounds, Portuguese, Chinese, Malay, Italian, Goan, all sorts of different things, sitting here together to discuss about something so important. Unfortunately, I might miss the point because the theme of this may not be what I'm about to say. But I think it's about time we bring it up to the current discussion. What is the Macanese? There's no need to define a Macanese. A Macanese is within your heart. We tried that 40 years ago. We tried that 100 years ago. And I think that it's very commanding. All what you're saying today, like you said, people cannot comprehend that you speak Cantonese. But are you a Cantonese? You are not. Am I a Cantonese? Maybe, because my grandmother is from Zhongshan. I happen to be. But my friend here, Nato Valente, is not. And his kids, are not either. But they speak Cantonese and Mandarin fluently. So we have Miguel here. I'm going to give you one. I hope I'm not going to upset the status quo of tonight. I hope. But give me 2 minutes. If your panel think, Luis, it's time for you to shut up, I will. But I'm going to give you one example. When I came back from Australia in 1992, Neto Valente was one of the first guys that heard me talking about the commercial law that was debated, the 5 big laws or something. And I recently arrived and I spoke. And he was one of the men in the panel. And subsequently to that, I also participated. I don't know what he thought about me. It's not relevant. I was just a young 39 years old guy. Now I'm 72. I believe it or not. And then the next occasion was with Miguel Sena Fernandez. We had started our Macanese Association. I didn't know Miguel because he's much younger than me, but now the age gap is getting closer. And what happened was,
does it close?
I'm going to repeat that publicly. Miguel said to me, I never met you. I don't know where you are. You don't look like a Macanese. You're like an Indian. I said, thank you very much. That's what a Macanese is. And let me tell you what you look like. You look like 100% Chinese, and yet you're Macanese. And that's was our conversation very amicably. I look like an Indian, and yet we are 10th generation Macanese. He looked like a Chinese, and yet he's a 10th generation Macanese. So there's no look to start off with. Bloodline. You don't have Portuguese nor Chinese. Maybe you have through your mother.
No.
Maybe, because she's Malay.
No, Karen.
Myanmar.
Myanmar. Okay. So what is a Macanese? And I learned that when I came back the second time, because I left Macau at the age of 19, thinking that Macanese, as we know it, is a mixed blood between Chinese and Portuguese. But my father, my grandfather, they don't have Chinese blood. Because back in 100 years ago, the Chinese will not marry a Guaylo, barbarians.
No, sorry, Louis, I'm
It's
going to have
very
to cut you
new.
off, but we're not here to discuss the identity or who is Macanese, who's not.
Now,
Okay, so that's not a topic of
Okay, so
discussion
let
today.
me-
We want to discuss the community as a whole, whether you look like Indian or Portuguese or Chinese or Goan or Filipino or whatever. We're not giving an
so what's
identity.
the, okay,
We're
let
not
me just finish.
identifying
Okay.
who is Macanese,
Okay,
who's
so
not. We're just here to
Antonio
discuss.
Monteiro is now organized this, right? Under the Youth Association.
Yes.
I give them credit, and I think that he deserves to be helped, and all the people here present should support him. So I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
We can always discuss who is Macanese, who's not, and again, we're never going to come to a conclusion about who is Macanese, who is not. We've tried that, like you said, we tried that 40 years ago, 100 years ago. We're going to try another 100 years.
No, don't
we're still never
go
going-
into that line. We sooner or later have to define. No, that's not correct. But I don't know.
Today we want to discuss what we can do as part of Macau, rather than
Okay, what we can
what's
contribute for
the-
Macau,
yes.
is it?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
let me just go back into the main thing, right?
Well, that was not the main
The
thing. Sorry.
only thing that we can contribute for Macau is with the blessing of Beijing. If China did not draw up the basic law whereby giving the Macanese a special status, we are not here. I was very much involved in the 90s to assert the Macanese status. Therefore, there's an Article 43, isn't it?
Yes, I'm pretty sure many of us are aware of the article, even I
So
am.
what do you want me to talk? I don't understand, Paula. What do you want me to say? You're interjecting me.
No, because you grabbed the mic, and we're trying to say that we're here to discuss in terms of arts and culture and development.
So what's the culture without the root? We got to go back to the basic before we can talk. You cannot build the 30-story building without building the foundation.
Yes, but everything makes up the foundation.
No. We don't have... This conversation has to start from the foundation. What is a Macanese? If you don't, Paula, I tell you what, you can have 100 meetings like this. If you don't go back to the root of it, like Acconci, do you feel Macanese?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
you see what I mean? He has to answer.
No.
Why?
Sorry. At the beginning, the
Dr.
very beginning of the session,
does he feel Macanese?
I have mentioned that we're not here to come up with conclusions. We're here to brainstorm, throw ideas.
Exactly. That's
so
what
we're
I'm
not
doing.
Here,
this is the brainstorm.
and we're not going back so much to the past.
Identity.
I'm not saying
Paula,
it's not
this
important.
Is the brainstorm, but the brainstorm with reason. You're not going to punch in the air. Let's talk about brainstorm.
Maybe that's how we come up with the final...
I'll pass my mic to him.
Thank you.
Sorry,
I'll
I'd like
pass
to
the mic to him.
come back to everything you guys talked about. It's been... I've been brainstorming to myself ideas for the future. And I think one of the things you guys did mention, we need to reinvent ourselves. In fact, I think the capability of reinventing ourselves is what kept us alive. And a very concrete example is patois. Nobody knows exactly what is the real patois. Maybe the patois from the initial 19th century was different from the 20s, the 30s, and from the 70s, and even from the patois that we, so to speak, use today. The minchi. What is the original recipe of minchi? Nobody knows. You might say, my family's minchi is the real one. So minchi doesn't have a fried egg. Oh, no, the real minchi uses fried egg. It's a never-ending discussion. So reinventing ourselves, it's definitely what what kept us alive. Being agile and adapting to the new reality. But another thing that I think it's very important for us to make ourselves visible, and I think that's the core thing. It's to take the spotlight. Really, we need to blend in the community, and maybe this is something that I feel not everybody might agree with me, but I think we're still very close in our own Macanese small society. We need to break out and reach the Chinese community and blend in with them and learn their culture more and learn Mandarin, as Rita was saying, and invite them. We need to interact more, and not just with the Chinese community, even among ourselves. You know, we have, I don't know how many, I didn't take the time to count. How many associations do we have in Macau?
Overall, 3,000 something. 12,000.
12,000. Why? We need to come together.
No, do you mean Macanese associations or associations?
No, overall.
No, he meant Macanese associations.
Macanese associations. And maybe we need to stick together. Stick together and bring the best of each one of us. No, we have good singers, we have good artists, we have good professionals. I think we are not just multicultural, we are I don't know how to express it.
Multi-everything.
We do everything. I think that it's in our DNA. We can do anything, we can learn anything. I feel that, like your song, we can be anything as long as we have the drive, and we are adventurous enough. Don't tell me I can't do it. I can. It might be a shitty thing, but I did a watercolor exposition. I did theater. I sang. I did so many things. I recently published a book. I'm not a writer. I'm not nothing of those. I'm an engineer, and yet I dare to go beyond, and that's what I would like other Macanese to feel and think like I do, and maybe we can grab the spotlight and make ourselves seen and get out of our little comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Boshko.
Mike, can we?
Mike,
Oh,
Mike, how?
how we gonna?
Thank you. I really enjoy hearing you talking and having this interaction amongst yourselves. The three of you mainly. The issues you raise up are particularly stimulating. Reinventing ourselves, having a vision on the future, because it's the future that is under question, not the past. The past, many people can research. It's not that difficult. But the future, what will be the Macanese culture, how we can be assertive in a multicultural society and in the Greater Bay Area. That is very important because this is our survival, the survival of the Macanese culture. My past professional experience in the tourism department taught me a lot of things, particularly that Macau has many cultural elements that are underestimated. We should use these elements to develop new products with some originality, with some creativity, and package new products, new concepts. Paraphrasing what the image you've been using. Minchi is good, but why not invent a new Minchi? Okay? Many of us are bound by tradition. We should not. We have to look a bit forward. That is the reason why Minchi has been Minchi. There's been no evolution, particularly in the Macanese cuisine. We have to be a little bit creative. For example, talking about Minchi, why not organize Minchi tours or culinary cooking tours for tourists? Okay, how? Well, I think the government should commission someone to study a project on new products. We need not build another expensive museum. We need to develop new ideas, new products based on what we have. Culture. There are many things about culture. Okay? We can organize some parties using these elements, and then someone talk a little bit about the culture, the Macanese culture, how Macau people are different from those other people, the neighboring areas. Okay? These are many studies that we should force the government to commission. I think, well, individual originality is good, but the government should lead the way and have a coordinated plan to implement. So it's up to us, Macanese, to press the government. I think that we should do this at this stage. If we are capable, we devise a plan, submit to government. Otherwise, there are many association representatives who can go to the government and say, we need some coordinated plan. Please offer us some, there's the word,
Insights? Ideas?
no, a map,
A roadmap?
a roadmap for the future, okay? What we should do. Because the Macanese community is shrinking in Macau. How to strengthen this so the Macau community will not dwindle and disappear. Okay, thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I just want to briefly introduce myself. I'm not Macanese. I have nothing related to Portuguese, but I'm a PhD student studying about Cantonese opera's history in Macau, which accidentally, in my late thesis of my master, I discovered some Portuguese Cantonese opera. Someone sang Cantonese opera in Portuguese, which made me interested to carry on, not my main study, but I want to find the modern identity of Macau, the hybrid identity, which have different cultures. Mainly could be, we think it is a very, most of us are Chinese residents in here, but the Chineseness in here is very unique. Just like the identity here is a hybrid identity that we have Portuguese culture, which is not exactly Portuguese culture, if you say what I hope you don't mind I say it. So to begin with, I thought, okay, I will find something about Macanese. But since I searched the paper, there are plenty on and on and on, different generations. And like what you said, could have different meaning, definitions. But I see it is, I don't say multi, it's more than multi. It is, depends on where you come from and how you define it. And it's always an interesting topic, even though I haven't able to start my research question yet. But it's always a time good to talk to people about Macau history, even though I'm not from Macau, about Macanese, about Cantonese opera. So it is a place I find it very lovely, funny, because I've only been here 4 years. I'm living in Macau 4 years. But what made me interested in it is to observe what's happening in here. So not just talk about the gastronomy, but about the culture. It could be so diverse. And I think how can we, under the Macau identity, we have such a diversity, and we have such uniqueness, which cannot be generalized. So I just, I'm not sure whether, I feel I'm very much an outsider. I'm just very timid to come and speak, but I appreciate, when I heard about the integration, which is never easy. I've been living in the UK 18 years. Integration, you have to understand both culture, but you're never able to integrate in some areas. And some, you just evolve, and you become your self-culture. So probably you have your self-culture in your own family, in your own extended family. We don't know. So it's evolving. So what I'm going to say is, good try, and thank you for, it's open to public tonight, even I feel scared to come, because I feel like I'm not Macanese. I'm very scared, but thanks for the opportunities. And my lay thesis, even though it's about counseling and psychotherapy, but I wish this city would be able to bringing the sense of belonging of different kind of people. So the arts and culture we can enjoy. Like what you said, not just a museum, it's a living museum that we could see different cultures. No matter how much level, it keep on, it is a process of trial and error, keep going on. It's always a problem about authenticity. Oh, is it like the tradition? And different people, just like the gai dan zai, the bubble waffle, how you call it, how you eat it is so different. And I hate the way they are now, but come on, it is how they eat it now. So we have to moving on, past present, future, and we are all making it. And I wish my time in Macau would be do a little bit things that I can contribute. And I wish one day people will hear about not exactly the whole piece of Portuguese Cantonese opera. Like I heard about the Preaching College, they sent a delegation to Brazil for introducing Chinese New Year. I wish one day they would sing a few lines of Portuguese Cantonese opera before they have a sketch of Cantonese opera. And I think integration is something that you try and do it gradually well. And I appreciate the integration that what we are enjoying here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, Miguel, before Miguel talks, well, we can give the mic to Miguel first. We've actually done that, patois. We've collaborated with the Chinese Orchestra of Macau and sang with patois, and we're trying to keep the arts alive. We're going to have hopefully a patois performance during the arts festival. And at the end of the year, we will have an encontro with all the Macanese communities. And that is actually a way, I was going to, before the discussion started, I was going to say that we actually do have a linkage with the world, not just China, through encontro, because we have so many casas de Macau in Australia, in the US, in Canada, and so on. We actually have like a personal connection with the outside world. So it's a matter of how we can continue to use this to our advantage to have a connection with the Macanese community that's out there. Yes, Miguel.
Okay, I'm trying to. I will try to. Yeah, I've comprido. Yes, it's about 8. It's about 8. I'll try to shorten my intervention here. First of all, I'm trying to organize the ideas because there are a lot of very rich input here. First of all, I'm not going to congratulate Dr. Rui Cunha and his son because he knows how I love this project, and I've congratulated them both and many times. But I want to congratulate the whole panel and this initiative, especially because when we talk about the Macanese, we have a certain tone about Macanese. This is a tone that at least I was seeking for a long time. It doesn't have to be in Portuguese. It doesn't have to be in this or that way, or speak about Macanese in a certain perspective. I like this. I like the whole thing. What I've heard is very, very rich and very innovative, especially innovative since it comes from a younger generation of Macanese, and especially a generation that maybe doesn't have that education, Portuguese-oriented education. And this is very important because this would have influence, a perspective about being a Macanese. So what is good here is that as we are kind of looking at the Macanese out of the box, this is fantastic. Our association, the Macanese Association, had been promoted a lot of this forums about the Macanese in the past. We did 3, at least 3 in Macau. One of them was passing the torch, 交接棒, to the next generation. It was, I think it was 10 years ago, something like that.
2012?
Something like that. So this is a recurrent discussion about how can we survive if survival it's the case in Macau now that we are Great Bay Area. It's a huge project, and Chinese government is putting a lot of effort, a lot of attention on this in this area. Macanese is a Macanese. I've heard about being blending. We're already blended. The Macanese historically blended into the current society. So we're not aliens in Macau. We've never been an alien in Macau. So we had our way to see Macau, but at the same time we're already blended within the Chinese. That's why we learn Chinese. That's why we learned speak Cantonese, and we learn Portuguese. And we learn a lot of other languages that are at our disposal. But what we're not going to, of course, we're not going to talk about who is the Macanese. But when you guys organize this, and we are all here for some reason, right? For some reason. When we're talking about Macanese, we're talking about Macanese, how it would be commercially feasible, this and that project, as the Macanese would develop, we always have to think about one thing. It's a sense of community. If we don't have this sense of community, why bother to talk about Macanese at all? See what I mean? So when we have to have this kind of things. So maybe Giulio has a perspective. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to sing whatever I want to sing, and I represent. I am a Macanese, and I'm going to sing whatever I want to sing. Perfect. It's your right, and it's good. Lourenço, same thing. I'm academic. I don't care. I have my way of thinking about that. I'm a Macanese. I feel I have my way of thinking about Macanese. I'm going to just throw it out. I don't care what was how it has been in the past. You have your perfect right about that. But then when we reinvent ourselves, like we were talking about reinventing ourselves, we'll go to a certain place, and we'll look back, where did we come from? We will always come to the same question. No matter how many clothes we're changing, everything else, we are going always back to this certain point, and we will question ourselves, where are we? I'm not going to talk about this. Where did we come from, right? So it's always recurrent. So what I'm trying to say is that it's good that the Macanese, the younger generation of Macanese, they all speak Mandarin. All speak Mandarin. They're fluent in Cantonese, Mandarin, English because of the internet, right? So this is a language is not a problem. Portuguese might not be as fluent because Portuguese, the usage of Portuguese is less and less and less. Now we want to boost it up, okay? We want to boost it up and taking this the government's policy and to boost it up. But what I'm trying to say is that we are already we know all this mechanism. We can reinvent ourselves. Of course we can. But we have to think about, as a Macanese, and when we talk about this, we are talking about a community. Now, what is this community? Is this community exist? Does this exist? Of course it exists. In a certain way. If you ask a younger generation Macanese, hey, are you a 土生葡人? 哎呀，我唔知啊。Sometimes they don't really know. They don't really know. But sometimes they don't want to know. Okay? They don't want to know because this is a question that everybody asks and nobody has the answer. And thirdly, unfortunately, and I experienced that, is that they are afraid to know, or maybe shy to know, or maybe they have a prejudice to say they are a Macanese. So we have a lot of this kind of thing. Baggage. But a lot of baggage. But what makes us survive here? I think it's the only way is that we have to know how is to be different in Macau. How is to be different in Macau? We have to praise for this difference. And everybody who thinks about being the Macanese, I'm talking about Macanese, not only those are born in Macau, but those who has Macau as, you know, some sort of belonging, they think differently. They think differently in Macau in this context. I have a lot to say, but it's really 8, yes. And I shut up. And I shut up for now.
Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you.
I think I'll wrap it up. We're, like I said in the beginning, we're not here to come up with conclusions or answers to anything. We're here to throw out more questions, actually.
There'll be more.
There'll be more. We hope to have another session. My conclusion, I think I can say that we, as a Macanese community, we're different, but at the same time, we're all the same as we're all part of being Macau. We're part of Macau. We're different, we look different, we sound different. I don't know, we eat different, but after all, like even within the Macanese community, we're all different, but then we're all Macanese community. And then the Macanese community is different from the rest of Macau, but then after all, we're all part of Macau. So once again, I would like to thank Rui Cunha Foundation, Dr. Rui Cunha, muito obrigada. And Dr. Rui Pedro, also a very big thank you to the logistics, and thank you everyone here tonight. Again, I think that we put an end to this session. We have refreshments for anyone who still wants to stay back and talk. And thank you, Giulio. Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
But I just want to finish off with one last word. What Miguel said, 土生葡人 is correct, it's wrong. I purposely make the Associação dos Jovens Macaenses 澳門土生協會. I did not add the word 葡人 for being more broad.
Inclusive, yeah.
The minute we put 澳門土生葡人, we are limited ourselves.
Yes.
So I have to correct Miguel, because Miguel used that word 土生葡人. And you are not Korean.
Yeah. Well.
There are a lot of people here who are not Korean, but it's part of Korean anyway. So please do not use it as a judgment.
It's not the same.
I have to go.
Yeah, me too. I gotta go too. I gotta run too.
I have some proposals to.
Okay, for sure.